MS. It's not a Lone Drew Bear, but it's
Ooh.
not a Snail either.
It's a relic.
A relic.
Yeah, he's going for a Radiance. So he's going to pick up a Radiance. He's going to limit
He
his
actually
HP.
has his Radiance.
But, oh wow, he does. He buys the recipe as well, so
Wow.
really
the fact
unusual.
that he can get this off, like, Radiance on spec is a very risky build, I feel, just because you can't push in as a first item. But I like how he's gotten the Diffusal Blade because he knew he needed to fight first.
Yeah.
And man, Radiance is going to shred the supports.
Yeah, I just checked their HP. Their Rubik is sitting at 872, and the Leshrac is a little higher than that at 984, or 948, sorry.
I feel like Rubik gets hit by any slow, like even the Boar, he just dies to Haunt.
Yeah.
The drums is really good on spec because the attack speed, all the stats obviously go to illusions, but the attack speed is also based on endurance source, so that also goes to illusions. So those illusions are hitting a little bit faster, which really matters when they have Desolate on them. And I like the fact that he's not upgrading his Diffusal Blade right away. I know it's very common on PO to get it right away, and it's pretty decent for damage, but on spec, you definitely want to use all the charges this game. Like, you can just throw the charges on your first Diffusal Blade, really, if you're doing well, because you purge a bear, you get off the bus, you win the team fight a lot of the time.
Yeah, it really does help a lot, and he needs as many charges as possible for this game to go along. It does counter so many things.
Man, I think Rattlesnake's in a pretty decent position. As long as Icy doesn't get picked off, I can't really see them losing the next team fight, even though they have an Aegis. Like, they're not going to really take a team fight outside the base. So, breaking a base against that team is very hard, and they definitely have the burst to, like, just roar, Scarth out someone, and then it's like a 4v5, or 5v5, I guess, with the Aegis, but they're in a better position because Haunt is going to rip everyone apart. But there's a Shiva's on Clockwork.
That's actually going to help a lot. It'll reduce the attack speed of all the illusions in the fight. So.
I actually don't think it's based on endurance source, so it doesn't affect the illusions.
Really?
Yeah. But don't quote me on that one. I was actually trying to look that up last time I saw Shiva's versus PL, but I couldn't find it.
I'm going to click on illusion, and I'm going to see if I see the icon.
Yeah, the only thing is that sometimes illusions get icon from like Vlad's lifesteal.
Oh, really?
And
okay.
You don't get that. And they get the animation too, so that might be a bit misleading. Yeah, so.
We'll get to it, mech nerds.
Dire's top tower.
Yeah, someone tweet at one of us and just...
We'll just stop the next cast and be like, okay guys, we figured out the eternal struggle.
Pretty much.
It works. Or it doesn't work. Man, those Venom wards. Look at this, 8 wards.
And Spectre actually pushes lanes out very quickly with that Radiance. You Dagger, you Radiance, and the creep waves, you Radiance. You stand by them, because Radiance is the aura. And the creep wave dies.
Does that apply to illusions?
Just
yes.
kidding.
I know that one.
Yes. We're doing our jobs right, guys.
We're doing our jobs.
Man, they just can't push in the Venom wards.
Yeah.
Man, a year ago, I would have just been mad right now because I used to hate watching pushes fail against Venomancer. Now it's Coddle. I'm okay seeing this because I haven't seen it in forever.
The Venoms are actually so cute now.
I know.
Like, you sort of missed them, right?
I do. He's about to hit level 11. His ulti's going to get a lot better. A lot of these supports on Rattlesnake actually have a ton of cash here. 2,500 gold. He's going to Gale. It's only going to catch the creeps, actually. A little bit of a misgale. But some damage is going on the bear. They're going to glyph this as well. And the wave's going to get held back.
I almost feel like that was a bit of a premature glyph there. But
yeah,
honestly, it doesn't really matter because they defended hard. But they had all the wards up. They had just used pipes, so... And the bear wasn't really beating on that for that much longer.
Well, they'll go on the next wave. They're going to even earn the bear up. He's got the AC, so more tower pushing capabilities.
I like that. You need AC to break a base.
-5 armor does a ton. And he's going to go straight onto the tower. More damage on the bear, but can they slow him down? Edict as well. That's going to do a ton of tower damage to Gale. It's only going to catch on the bear, actually. Misses the Leshrac. Gale's so good against Spirit Bear.
I feel like the Scarth, he was using his skill on the bear, but I feel like when you're defending the base, you should just be spamming that out. He's not level 11 yet, so his ulti isn't that 575. Oh, that's ridiculous. 575 mana.
Yeah.
So he can afford to use a few arcane boats on the bear there. But honestly, it wouldn't have changed the thing. It's just like a bit more damage on the bear, just in case a team fight happens.
Yeah, he's doing everything he can to slow things down. Spectre has 1,700 gold.
Yeah, and I really like this 4-stat pickup on Scarth, actually, just because someone gets cogged in, you 4-stat them out, and Clockwork is sitting as cogs and usable stat.
How do you feel about the amount of money being saved on the Radiant team right now? Venomancer's at 3,100. I would love to see him go Aghanims, but we finally see Beastmaster buy something. It's going to be a Heaven's Halberd, actually. I was expecting maybe an Aghanims, but very good against Bear, right?
Yeah, that is really good against Bear. I mean, the cooldown is low enough at 30 seconds. That's every creep wave. So every time a creep wave comes up, you can just put it on the Bear, and then he's not whacking your rack. So that might actually be big.
Should do 3 seconds on melee targets. He has not casted it yet. There's a torrent actually on the Bear again. Bear's hitting the racks. They may not need to do something about this. Getting about half HP.
And the bear immediately has to retreat. Oh, roar
they're
in the dark
going in.
Seer.
Really? Spectre's going to put the ulti
Oh,
down as
no.
well. The mist coming down from Skyward Mage. The boat is over. Lanham in some trouble. There's the boat. Clockwork about half HP. Axes as well. Icy's doing everything he can. Gets vacuumed on top of the wall. He's got to run away from his
Good
illusions.
force staff.
And he does get out of there. So for now, it's looking okay. I feel like that roar was really
Rax
jumping the
is
gun.
gonna die, though.
They pop the mech. Can they slow down
Oh
the
no,
bear?
it's not. Wow.
Gale's going to land, and I think this is a dead bear.
That is a dead bear.
Goodbye, little bear.
I'm quite surprised that they didn't just go for that Rax there. I feel like when you commit that much, but hey, if they all get out here, then that's completely fine. Live to fight another day. Oh, good.
Ooh, good BKB there.
BKB. That was
Nice
a good
reaction.
X, and then he BKBs.
Can they get the
Looks like
next
it's
hero
early.
though? He threw a torrent of his own. Actually, the slow is going to apply, doing some splash, but they're just not going to chance it. They chased really far right here. They can just spread out and get some farm. They didn't lose a Rax. Really close though, 187
That was
HP.
really, really close. That's one bear swipe with the roar on, so maybe 2. 15 armor, 10 after the AC is still 6 whatever reduction that is. I'm tired.
Now the
I
Radiant
can't
team
math.
gets to go by
160% EHP, whatever that is, in percent reduction.
a lot, so
Yeah,
much.
Some.
Kunkka, possible Daedalus next. Do you think that's the right choice at this point?
Yeah, I really like the fact that teams have stopped going for this BKB. Well, actually, I don't know if LG has stopped, but I feel like every time I see a Kunkka rush BKB, he gets all his spells off before using his BKB. He BKBs, runs in, hits a creep, and then
It's like
he doesn't do anything.
for 8 seconds.
Like it's not really enough, and I feel like when you're against a Lone Druid, a Dark Seer, they have Pipe Mech, you really need to dish out that damage. Even against like the Shivas, it's really nice just because that cleaves ignores armor. And it ignores the evasion that Hawk now has too, so that's the cleave is doing a lot of like effective damage. And oh no, they roar.
Roar goes in. Skywrath Mage. Oh, the 4-step actually keeps Darkseer alive here. I think that might have been a mistake. 4-step. Oh, great wall on top of a bunch of heroes. They get maybe vacuumed out. Icy's
man.
doing everything he can. His illusions are right-clicking as well. Venomancer drops a great ulti, level 2, and he might actually survive here if he gets the Urn off. He's going to almost survive, but the Rubik's able to clean him up. The rest of the Radiant team, Icy getting entangled, and now cogged in. Will he dagger out of this? He does eat another torrent and some mana drain, but he's running for his life. If he runs through this, this could be his death.
Oh.
The Death Slate, he almost goes down, but luckily for him, his illusions HP dies to the mana burn, or the Radiance burn. That was so close.
Very close. Spectre, his illusion was also half a Radiance tick from dying, and if Spectre had ran through the wall second time in the beginning of the fight, he almost ran through it a second time, and if that illusion had gone off, that fight I think could have gone completely different. I think Luo and Icy both would have died there just from that actual Radiance burn. Maybe they would turn around earlier because it would have been a bit lower, but man, the Darkseer wall is doing work. You get the Spectre aura from Radiance, you get Desolate on it, you get the Beastmaster aura, which is based on Endurance aura, so it does help those illusions attack a lot faster. And damage from the other team. It's just nice.
Is this another? Wow, another Halberd picked up by Kunkka. So 2 Halberds now on the Radiant team. They really want to shut down that bear.
I'm not too sure how I feel about that one.
It's pretty good damage, honestly, for a strength hero. It's 45.
It is.
It's fairly comparable to
it's
a
pretty
meteor.
tanky too. And Lone Druid maybe almost doesn't want to go for that MKB. So maybe we'll see the evasion coming into effect too. I think he should go for it though, just because it's also another good base breaking item. You get that MKB proc against towers actually, so that does a ton of damage. And oh, I thought they were smoked up in the Radiant jungle, but it looks like they're just scouting around. Do they still have the gem?
Yeah, they do have a gem on the bear. There's a bunch in the base as well. 2 gems in the Radiant team's base, so.
Oh, but they're not carrying one on them, which is
They
sort
do,
of cool.
they do.
Oh, they do?
Lone Druid. Oh, yeah, the Radiant team?
Radiant, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think they are. They're looking to initiate too.
Yeah, they don't have one, but they have 2 in their base, so that's sort of cool. Like, they're not carrying it around just because they don't need to see anyone. It's just for dewarding, but they're keeping it in their base just so they can do that. And
Oh, they're
Venom-
going in a team fight.
Venom's
Veno's
being
going to put his
manly.
ulti down any second. He gets vacuumed. He's taking a lot of time. Why doesn't he pop his ulti? There's the ulti going off. Gale's going to whiff. The boat comes through. Roar on top of the Lone Druid. Yeah, they're trying to kill the Lone Druid, but that's going to force him into the wall. Icy's doing the right click, but Shiva's guard. Another torrent. Icy looks like he's going to fall down. He only needs an ultimate orb, and finally he does get picked off in a team fight here. Not quite the best initiation for Rattlesnake, but Luo's running for his life. The bear's on the chase. Will he break tether range?
good.
Rocket gets it, and a triple kill for the Darkseer.
Oh no, C2I, good hook, and that's a 14 more.
Wow, and they stole Roar. So
They, yeah, oh, they still roar. I think that's sort of how that team fight went so poorly for them. Roar is just such a ginormous, that word, ginormous spell to steal.
good enough to
And
cast with that word. That's fine.
Radiant's middle
Everybody
barracks
uses it.
are under attack.
At least I'm not like rising snakes and rattle stars.
Yeah, wow.
I'm not that bad, right?
It'll never happen again.
It'll never happen again. I'm sorry, Birch.
Okay.
No, that was it's sort of a weird engagement because VG, they threw the wall down very prematurely, but then they're able to control they knew that they needed the wall was around Roshan, so they could sort of force the fight to continue there. So it's actually a very good wall. I mean, on paper you only hit really a Veno at the start with the wall. They hit a Beastmaster, and the Beastmaster ran into the wall twice after that, so his illusion was just giving a ton of DPS to the bear, to the illusions, and that really helped out. But like the fact that the Darkseid just threw it down the Roshan pit, I really like that.
I just feel like the fight was forced so hard by Rattlesnake.
Yeah, it really was.
Like the Veno even hesitated heavily on ulti, and I don't know if he was ready or something.
I'm not sure why he didn't ulti there.
He didn't even gale. I mean, he had cooldown like right as he got cooldown came off right as he got forced in, but he waited like 3 seconds after that at least. So it seemed a little unusual.
Maybe the force stuff shocked him a bit. I don't think it was his force stuff, right? So
no, it was not. It was one
maybe
of his
he was
allies.
like on his team speak. He's like, "Why am I here, guys? Why do you hate me?" But I don't know. It was a bit weird. I mean,
They're going in. We'll see a roar from Beastmaster, but he actually gets roared out by the Rubik.
and he gets sucked back in.
Back into the fight. Can he roar before he dies? His solo HP gets the cast off just barely on Clockwork, and a great ulti from the Skywrath Mage puts Clock so low, and finally Spectre's going to cast his Haunt, doing a lot of right-click here. Even ZSMJ taking a lot of damage. Bear's going to get killed, though. He does have a resummon, and CTY also cogging in the Skywrath. Skywrath's going to die to a rocket, barely gets killed. Almost
Bear has
survives.
cheese. They can definitely push. Just Veno word cancel turn. Oh, he actually cheeses straight up, so no need for that.
Wow.
But
Melee
yeah,
Rax takes a lot of damage.
That spot Rax, mid Rax is already dead, and I think you can get top tower. I'm not too sure what. Actually, they have a bear. They might just take the game here.
Yeah, if they take this last Rax, it's going to be a little bit of a hard fight uphill. Diabolic Edict used. Tower goes down. Melee Rax taking damage. Can Spectre defend things? There's going to be another hook shot in. He's going to be able to grab the Kunkka. Kunkka's got to throw the boat. He actually throws the X on himself, trying to do a hit and back out. Throws the attack through. Boat hits nobody, actually. And Icy's trying to slow things down, but he just doesn't have the HP. Vacuum catches 3. Bear goes through. Can he entangle somebody? Axes are next. And there's the ulti from the Skywrath Mage doing some damage to the Clockwork. Gale lands on a lot of important heroes, but I just don't think they can stop it. That's Mega Creeps. And wow, that was a disconnect before GG from Lan M.
Yeah, he's not happy. I mean, I wouldn't be happy if I had to solo against a lone Druid 1v1 with boost first.
Yeah, no kidding. They played really well, I feel like, in the early mid game. Like, they got so far behind. Vici did a lot of pushing. They took all their towers, and they turtled for so long, but then that one bad team fight just set them so far back.
Yeah, the turtling was actually really nice. They got Spectre with the Diffuser, they got Spectre up with the Radiance, and Radiance really did work. It did about 450, 500 damage to Rubik in every team fight, because he would have to lift it. He would pump a 15 wand if he's isolated. That's what happened in the fight around mid tier 3, but it just wasn't enough in the end. I mean, Veno's good at soloing, but after a certain time, I just feel like that hero doesn't do much.
Yeah, it does cut back a little bit. And maybe that's one of the times he hesitated with his ulti in the Roche fight, because he jumped in and then immediately BKB from Darkseer, and he said, well, maybe I should wait a couple seconds so I can catch everybody, but you know, it's really tough at that point. And then Pipe is already up. I mean, that's another thing. Pipe counters Veno ulti so hard, because it doesn't matter what time you pop the Veno ulti. You can say, oh, he popped Veno ulti, you can wait 2 seconds, you can turn on the Pipe, and you only take like 100 damage. So another really good reason why Pipe is so good, and Veno sometimes slacks. But I think he definitely proved his value as a counter pusher this game.
I just want to say one thing. ZSMJ, 46-minute game, 1 death only. And while he only has 1 kill, sometimes that happens on Lone Druid. You kill towers, you win the game. It doesn't matter if you kill heroes. 13 assists means that he was definitely a vote. And if we look at the DPS counter, he probably did quite a bit of hero damage. He just didn't manage to find those last hits. Sometimes that happens. So I really would like to commend his Lone Druid play.
Good job, ZSMJ. All right, let's hear from the analytics desk, Blitz and Gods.
Welcome back. Vici Gaming making a great case for their participation in the Grand Finals. LGD are awaiting there. They've taken game 1, and a lot, I mean, they mentioned quite a bit there. Lone Druid versus the Beastmaster in top lane. Beastmaster just doesn't go well against a Lone Druid 1v1.
Yeah, we talked about it a bit during the G League Finals, but it's just a matchup that Lone Druid hands out straight out wins. There's
And
not a whole lot you
Beastmaster
can
boots.
do. Yeah, exactly. So what are you supposed to do against that? You don't have the regen to sustain. You don't really have a stout or anything like that to be able to tank the bear.
Yeah.
So you're just getting right click the entire time. And how are you supposed to CS against that as well? Also, you're not really safe because the bear can run you down. It's fast, like it's just as fast as you. And then on top of that, once you hit level 5, there's a really good shot that you die.
Yeah. He did. The boots did help him not die once he hit level 5, but ZSMJ just got so far ahead in terms of farming experience. As far as the other lanes went, the offensive trialing coming out from Vici Gaming, it sort of worked out well enough that Spectre farm got slowed down a bit. We've seen Spectre quite a bit throughout the qualifier with mixed success here. I felt actually Spectre had a really good shot this game. Problems came later on. I mean, Venomancer held out for a while, but being on the dire side, that Roshan advantage really just gave Vici Gaming the edge as far as breaking the base.
Yeah, actually really interesting to see Veno in a competitive game again, but it's a hero that if you have an advantage and the other team doesn't have BKBs or pipe, sure, it works pretty well with the slow and all that jazz, but eventually it does fall off, and it's a hero with kind of a timer, because after that, as far as supports go, he doesn't really have a disable or stun, and it's really easy to just go on him, or one of his compatriots, and you can just gun them down.
Yeah, he was just sort of stuck to sitting back, playing down the wards there. And I think in the end, with Rattlesnake, they were sort of pressured into contesting every single Roshan. They knew with Vici Gaming getting Roshans, it was just like a done deal for them, so they felt like they had to go for every Rosh fight late game. That last Rosh fight just went horribly wrong for them. Venomancer got 4-staffed in. I feel like the problem is there, that they don't want to be 4-staffing in Venom to begin with. Even if he gets off an ultimate, most of the key Vici Gaming heroes have BKBs, or they can just shrug off the damage enough. I feel like you need to be saving that 4-staff. We saw some great 4-staffs coming out from Vici Gaming where they saved the raw target, and then you raw a target, you're trying to get Skywrath ultimate on him, and you 4-staff him away. It can really change a team fight. So, looking at towards game 2, where do you think Rattlesnake, if they're looking to come back, do they look to change up their drafting? Because I feel like every single game they're doing a different draft. This game was the first pick Kunkka, which we haven't even seen from them. We've seen Vici Gaming go for it. What do you think has been sort of their best heroes and best draft so far?
I mean, Rattlesnake seems to work well when you give Lan M one of those space-creating mids, or one of those like major teamfight mids where he can just roam the map, create a difference. Icy has done quite well playing aggressive carries. I mean, the Spectre, he was still 9-3, right? So he did quite well from nice cut movement.
Subtle.
But I mean, giving a player like ZSMJ a matchup like that, Lone Druid against Beastmaster, you can't really do that, because as long as his tri-lane breaks kind of even, then he's gonna come out so far ahead. You can't really contest that lane.
And once again, C2Y mid lane. I mean, CTY is CTY.
Yeah, CTY does what CTY does best. It's difficult to contest him, and we've seen. This is the second time I've seen this Clockwork this qualifier, and it has been just such a game-changing presence.
Yeah. It almost seems like worth banning out in the next game.
It really does. I mean, it's a hero, but what do you do after that? There's quite a few heroes that he can pull from. So
yeah, we've seen even first pick Kunkka from Vici Gaming, something Rattlesnake did here. Well, that sums up game 1, guys. We'll see if Rattlesnake can bounce back, take game 2, force a game 3 of Vici Gaming, or whether Vici Gaming will do what Rattlesnake did to Rising Stars, get that 2-0 victory, seal their place in the grand finals. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll be live with our second game in this best of 3 series.
Hey guys, we're back into the game with Rattlesnake versus Vici Gaming. This is going to be game 2. My name's Purge and I'm here with AUI 2000. Thanks for being here once again. Starting things off, Vici Gaming is going to get a Batrider in their first pick. So haven't seen a ton of Batriders, and especially at the beginning of the Eastern Qualifier. It was consistently banned, but as time has gone on, more and more of them have sneaked through.
Yeah, I think Darkseer has actually seen surge in prominence. In the beginning, we actually saw him get picked a lot. As mentioned by Gods at the beginning, Visage and Darkseer are the most picked heroes, but we've actually seen both those heroes receive some targeted bans. And I really like the Nyx pick just because he's so good against Batrider. I'm not too sure about the Meg because usually that just gives you a really big grip target, but it's not that bad. I mean, if you can properly fog yourself, maybe even use a smoke before a team fight to get off a good RP, then it is decent against Batrider just because Batrider posts on in, then they all sort of go towards that hero to blow him up. So you can get good RP. And the Coddle pick really makes up for Nyx in lane, so I like that.
Yeah, that definitely does. They can land more Nyx abilities. They can set this up with maybe a solid hard carry with mana, and they are actually going to ban a PL this game. So we won't see PL Nyx. Keeper of the Light, Trilane would have been pretty effective. Even an Alchemist ban, a lot of carry bans actually.
I think that's really smart because when you have the Meg to give those melee heroes the bubble hands, because the power doesn't exist, right, Blitz?
Let's just call them giving him compliments.
Giving the carry compliments, also compliments. And it's really hard to push into the lineup first of all, and then the carry farms exceptionally fast. I really like this Lone Druid pickup as well, just because Batrider and Lone Druid, I feel like they work so well together. You beat on a tower, Batrider just fireflies, and it's very hard for them to contest the tower. I think that we'll see a very similar thing as last game, where VG takes a very early 6 towers. I would like them to wait a little bit longer before pushing in, just because Coddle, Meg, clearly 2 heroes that are very hard to push in against, even Nyx. So, but once you get those items to shrug off a bit of the shockwave and blast damage, then you'll be a bit better off. At the very least, they need backpipe.
Yeah, that'll help a lot against Coddle. It's pretty much going to be similar to what we saw last game. Venomancer was stopping pushes with his Plague Wards. Now it's going to be Coddle spamming Illuminates and Magnus Shockwaves. But it does take a lot more to stop Coddle Blast and Magnus Nuke, because that's 800 magic damage. Even if you pipe a creep wave, it's barely going to survive that. Most likely will die right afterwards.
Yeah, I mean, the good thing is that it does just get in the corpse range of the tower. So if you die to the tower, the creep corpse will stop backdoor region from coming on, and then he barrel mauls it. Or even Batrider can grip. They can initiate very easily this game. I would like to see some extra force staffs on VC Gaming's side, just because Batrider goes in, he grips someone. Maybe Nyx has really fast reflexes, he stuns him, but then you have a hero who's playing a bit far up, and then he can force it to Batrider. And then the Nyx stun ends while he's still grip. Batrider can force himself even further, and they won't be able to just Nyx stun and blow up the Batrider that way.
That's a really good point. Yeah, you can pull them even extra out of position if they can get farmed, and that really will depend heavily on how the laning goes. If the laning goes okay and the supports get support kills and lots of pulls, then they can finish those items.
I mean, they have this Lone Druid Batrider combo to push on the tower, so I sort of expect them to get items, but hey, sometimes stuff happens. They take team fights around towers and then Jakiro takes a Shadow Fiend.
Wow, not a hero that we see very often. We did see him get banned in second round last game, which I thought was very surprising, but he does a ton of physical damage. His minus armor aura is pretty good against the bear because the bear has tons of HP.
It's actually very good versus the bear. Actually, all the heroes on VG are very low armor.
Yeah, Kunkka especially.
Yeah, I would like to see, at the very least, early bashing on the bear. It's actually quite nice as an item on the bear. 6 damage for 500 gold plus 2 armor on all your allies and extra 1 on the bear from that, so you have 3 on the bear. And also, Lone Druid, he sort of actually needs a small mana regen item in order to continue to spend Rapid. We actually saw Zedos MJ, he wouldn't use Rapid all the time because he would need to keep his mana up, which was smart by him, but you know, he farmed just a bit faster. You have those spells with Silencer coming out.
Alright, so this basically means Vici wants to do 5-man, right?
Yeah. This is going to be very hard to deal with. Batrider gets a grip, Global Silence comes out, that guy is dead.
Unless we see some super meta Cyclones or Eul Scepters.
That's actually a pretty fair point here. If they can farm a Eul Scepter on maybe Coddle. Coddle gets quite a bit of farm, but maybe he sort of needs a mech.
It's so expensive though, and it just expensive. Counters the Batrider, and it's 2,700 gold. That doesn't make Coddle that strong, other than that one.
It almost
counter.
feels like they sort of need something to counter Batrider though. Like, if they don't, it's very possible that he wins every team fight first.
Yeah, and it's completely reliant on Nyx Assassin's Impale. which isn't even a super instant disable. I mean, it's got to travel across the ground. If he gets a Force Staff at all, there's pretty much no way that they can stop other than Dragon Knight stun. I mean, that's going to be instant, unless they did like a Magnus Blink or something.
So
But
they did need sort of a carry with some lockdown just because they have Shadow Fiend and Kato, which are 2 heroes without any real disable. But this puts the Lone Druid into the off lane. Oh, sorry. The Magnus into the off lane.
really,
And I'm not too sure how I feel about that. I feel like Magnus is quite a weak offlaner.
yeah, I agree.
In one of the games, Rattlesnake versus
Prepare for
OGD, I think, the Meg was level 1 at like 8 minutes. I mean, and then LGD pushed it into a tier 2, and he was able to get his level 6 a bit faster than I thought he should have. But if you keep that level tier 1 not push, sometimes you see Meg ridiculously crippled. I mean, he can sort of stack this camp, this medium camp, and skewer up onto these trees using that sort of a little bit abusive tactic. But I've never seen a Chinese team do that. Actually, I've never seen a Western team do that either. I've seen that on their YouTube video. So
It's not quite the pro leagues, unfortunately.
but hey, you know, it's really not that bad. If you're getting shut down against a tri-lane, which he most definitely will against this one, like a Bear, Sancer, and THG, he's not touching creeps. He shouldn't touch creeps against that. It's better than nothing.
On the bright side, they don't have super reliable disables, so
Yeah.
and if he gets last word and he casts Skewer, the Skewer will go through, but it'll just be silenced afterwards, correct? Okay.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's basically going to come down to a skill shot from Jakiro. Can he land the Ice Path, or can the Lone Druid hit 5 relatively fast and hit entangles? So I would say there's much worse tri-lanes to be up against, but even still, there's going to be 2 extra heroes here trying to keep him out of EXP.
And I mean, the thing about a hero like Meg is that yeah, he has 4 armor, he has 315 move speed, but he's not really the best brute force EXP gainer in the game. I mean, he's not that bad, I guess, but maybe. Oh, good.
Oh, that
yeah,
was so good.
They can just tangle him out though. I mean,
But hey, man, that's
at least he
tangos.
wasted tangle.
How many
Better
tangos do
than
they have to
nothing,
burn? Just one.
This one.
But even still, small advantage there. It's going to cost him a little bit of mana. I love how he did that. He just knew that if he did a short skewer, it's going to stop him here,
Yeah.
and the bear would end up
That
on the
was
upper ground.
perfectly played. I mean, sometimes you see the bear actually get stuck up here in a 1v1 between Meg and Lone Druid, and then Meg actually does quite well until Lone Druid hits 3. So that's some cutesy play coming out of him.
That's a good idea. Yeah, because you can't get it out
Yeah.
unless you tango it.
Oh, even on this one up here, you can't even get it out at all.
Yeah.
And they're actually harassing the Meg down, which is sort of expected. I mean, he's taking quite a bit of damage, but what can you really do? Wow, he's taking a lot of damage.
Wow. Dual Breath is actually a really good spell.
Yeah,
The movement speed slow is huge, 30%.
Yeah, I really like that he took Dual Breath first, just because if you think about 4 seconds of 30% slow is a total of 100% move speed slowed in total, right? And Ice Path is only a 1 second stun at level 1. So Dual Breath actually slows up for longer, and slows are typically better early game just because if it's for 4 seconds, you sort of get hits off and you can